So we've been giving you back-to-back updates about what has been happening in Ghana's parliament. Now, one of the things His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the NDC government, one of the things they promised was to do what we call cost cutting, which means near Ghana, they will do everything in their own possible best to minimize the costs, bringing back as effective and also efficient cost cutting measures and as a mechanism. Now, one issue I better pronounce, I mean, who can say, Kamiako say NDC for almost Omuda de Mwana, perhaps they are proving to be of the same fabric which the NPP is also woven in. Assembly and make assembly has to do with a now parliament to force in acquire the finance minister or can Simbia sense no kind of as a Ghana you be here new aircraft. Now, Esan said NDC have promised a year Ghanaian some time ago so mobile or purchasing new aircraft. Intino or who kwanya on befa so catch Ghana force. Now no helicopter crash this year and one of the major reasons was because we were using aircraft and not a year old. And it's near here a year aircraft a papa senebeya that be helicopter no and an airplane na airfa president no enko nya kwenshibum na just Ghana amane. Now because of that they actually framed this in the budget, say you new 2 helicopters and also a brand new military private jet. And I'm for party say just be honest and say you need a private jet for the president because private jets now Akufo-Addo use so passing it down ama Mahama no. It is not really that safe. Older, ya bibia betimesi. Na enem no ka say nsem bebre aba ho, and we are seeing this type of Falcon jet and only military helicopter ne private jet abeba. And na Mahama nkasa private jet ya approve some military private jets no be use no. And also we have news about it and even pictures of what will be how it looks like amount for air party say from the look of things no. Kamiako said this particular private jet in question, it even has a swimming pool. And a video of how it is like. Now, in Government Parliament approves 60 million purchase for 1 military jet and also 12.5 million for acquisition of 4 helicopters for Ghana Air Force. So in all, 125 million, for acquisition of helicopters. In total, Ghana yekoboka almost 200 million, over $200 million to purchase a private military jet for the president and also 124.5 million for 4 helicopters. Now, me can say in same bebre abasa in same way home. Ebedi kind about videos in parliament as a particular videos in parliament. One person na also ni buofu hu pa ye. Or cancer in some way, and now can in some way or party say what is really happening not because just a few years or last 2 years ago, these same people were saying say government should not be allowed to purchase a new private jet, but then fast track to today omo purchase different helicopters and also different private jets. I will share this particular video involved when Reverend Fojo, who happened to be with the New Patriotic Party, rose in Parliament and as got up in Parliament to say he will not agree to the acquisition of this particular new helicopters and also private jets purchase because na NDC for during opposition time more opposition party say we no idea be Ghana kan sa pepe and we so be Ghana ka. Why? Because you were private jets for the president da yenkwa nkutie in sema Reverend Intim Fojo Odituja. When we come back, we will definitely continue with this particular update. Menoka say a trend all over social media.
We are happy. By 3 years' time, it is expected that the Falcon will arrive. And around the same time, it is expected that the 4 helicopters will also arrive to enhance the battle readiness of our armed forces. And by which time, our colleagues will be on this side, and we will be on the right-hand side of the speaker, and we will ensure we'll continue the investment into the security sector. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, we unreservedly support the retooling of our Ghana Armed Forces. I thank you.
Honorable members, I think I'll proceed on the two motions, item 18 and 21. Those in favor of the adoption of those motions, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Motions numbered 18 at page 8 of the order paper and 21 at page 11 of the order paper are hereby adopted.
For individual I'll share into Mr. Reverend Team for Jokra, I believe he said this is very essential for Ghana because social now no helicopter here called Shiasena. One of the major issues and one of the major concerns was this particular helicopters. No, now a helicopters be actually pay ye. We procured the helicopter way back in 2004. Michemu ya helicopter no it did 21 years. Actually. And now, penny for ministers, not a mofa at the point in time, quiet president, not offer that same helicopter into to safeguard our president and also our future presidents. So, and who be here say, you be Retooling the military and also the presidential jet here. So you saw in Parliament, even though Reverend Intim Fojo, he had concerns, overwhelmingly, most parliamentarians actually agreed with this particular motion and it was passed. So at the point in time as Speaker Eka said, those who are not in favor say nay, no, you couldn't even hear a pin drop in Parliament. Now, you the whole screen, so be a posterior a different part of the video about where if Harry Darling also behold the brand new ultra modern Falcon 6S presidential jet that President Mahama is procuring. This jet is produced by Dassault Aviation SA of France and is the wildest purpose-built business jet. Ghana is also buying 4 additional helicopters from the same company. So in here, we see that this particular private jet, they bring Mahama, I say military private jet, and who pictures on the screen, and even at the point in time, we say our cabin, our kitchen, and even videos about it, a sounds like swimming pool, a sounds like shower. So what the NDC have been accusing the new patriotic party of Kamiakwe said they are now also doing the same thing. Now we and a Reverend Team for Joe Eddie same be able to according to Reverend Team for Joe, he wants to set certain records a year straight. Oshe has say or say Reverend Team for Joe posti or say our presidential jets. Or say on presidential jets, President Kufuor planned to acquire two aircraft for the Air Force and made down payments of 38 million in 2008. NDC cancelled the agreement and allowed only one Falcon 900 EX aircraft. NDC further publicly and fiercely opposed President Akufo-Addo's efforts of retooling Ghana Armed Forces and rejected investment into Ghana Armed Forces. Yesterday, we NPP MPs in opposition, the mighty minority, took the moral high ground to support the acquisition of aircraft for the Ghana Air Force. We will not politicize nor oppose what is right for the state and for the Air Force. However, NDC must apologize to the good people of Ghana and President Akufo-Addo for opposing Air Force retooling agenda in 2017 to 2024 and doing needless politics with military aircraft and presidential travel. So this is what a year in summer Reverend in Team for your audit. Now I told you, sir, we have a video of how this whole helicopter and how this whole private jet Ghana you procure ama a president, how it is like a particular video you will see says private jet here can no a very exquisite a very elegant a shepe a mono sounds so state state of the art equipment. It's quickly share this particular video of this particular aircraft. It's here for a babaka. We will continue with this particular update near share in summer we are to forcing on also other babes concerning this same helicopter issue a day in same bibrede and in nama eba.
Stepping on board the brand new Falcon 6X introduced in 2025. It's designed for groups of up to 16 passengers. The cabin feels incredibly spacious. Every seat is fully adjustable and super comfortable. There's a large table, perfect for long journeys. And the jet can fly non-stop from London to Los Angeles or Dubai to Tokyo. The sofa converts into a full bed, and there's a new, modern bathroom built for comfort on long flights.
Inti for shooting sema na efimu eba last part no or say there's a what? There's a bathroom, okay, and cabin for comfort, which means for in sema na so one de bo akufo do so odware asan odware wo wiem or san so swimming pool ni shower wo wiem no sa asem no ebu aba Mahama so ameno ka say that is exactly what we are learning. Now you read some few comments, but before you read some few comments, so I think say be person be tea in sema how we reduce so sorry Mr. Haruna Edisu at forcing or the betuja concerning this particular military aircraft didn't seem be briaba and then on Parliament have overwhelmingly passed it. Yababaka, we will do well to actually give you more updates into this particular upcoming issues.
The aircraft referenced in the budget are not luxury aircraft. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to assure this House that the aircraft, the helicopters and the aircraft that will be purchased by the Ghana Armed Forces will certainly not have a bathroom. There will be no bathroom in that aircraft. Mr. Speaker, it is not a luxury aircraft that will have a bathroom, and it's important I make that point.
A few moments later.
Stepping on board the brand new Falcon 6X, introduced in 2025. It's designed for groups of up to 16 passengers. The cabin feels incredibly spacious. Every seat is fully adjustable and super comfortable. There's a large table, perfect for long journeys, and the jet can fly non-stop from London to Los Angeles or Dubai to Tokyo. The sofa converts into a full bed, and there's a new, modern bathroom built for comfort on long flights.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
And there's a new, modern bathroom built for comfort on long flights.
This is the same Atu Forcing. Atu, is it the same you? Is it Atu Forcing? Hey, Atu. Hey, Atu. Hey, Atu Forcing.
So that was the same omudi tuja the private jets no we are learning say swimming pool and also shower nyina woman Mahama na original opposition e ka so sa niema no omo nye cost cutting mechanism ebo aban ne kan ade ene ono ene edi eginemu akwa procure this particular aircraft with swimming pool and also a private shower bathroom in it. Me woka say papa Bawumia, there is a news about him because me woka say in Simbi ababi tuja about him and people are saying this is actually one of the things that ubia in him. And people are saying it's good, but other people are also saying why don't we even investigate this issue in the first place? Now, that's sorry, Reverend Andrew Campbell, who happens to be a reverend and a reverend father and also a founder of the Lepers Aid Committee. Or the Ababe Tuja said Dr. Bawumia a church project na omoye na a costing 1.5 million Ghana cedis. And ye bisa se Bawumia kasanga as a vice president, so how much was his salary in the first place? The sales can go fee or say all the Ghana lepers. Now, according to this man, or the same way Jano, there's been a lot of concerns and even crown among four parties we Intiana was by this time no you investigated Bawumia on issues of corruption any idea. For context, this is what he said. Or said Dr. Bawumia completed a church project for me costing around 1.5 million Ghana cedis in new wager. A Muslim Bawumia ako complete a year sorry ama Reverend Andrew Campbell na it cost so much a year man for bisa said we need to actually look into this, but then in some way by man for calling out Bawumia no he himself no about clarify issues on what really happened bimo moka so Bawumia corrupt thing no he actually set the record straight as to why we even got here in the first place, and even in sema eba ebimba so Bawumia said the wakoye na was say the investigating here there does they be he has an explanation to it. So in a moment we will be listening to what Reverend Andrew Campbell or this Tuja and some of the reactions which are also coming from across board in regards with this particular case. We know, say, everyone wants to know what really happened. So 1.5 million. When did Bawumia give it out? If you hear, these are very big questions, sir. We know, say, yes. So, yanko tie in sema or the two dry babaka yebetu aso.
There's now this debate, Christians or Catholic schools or mission schools and Muslims and all of that. What is your take on that? You've heard that?
Like the school, school I started in Jamestown, it's a Catholic school. I built it. I went looking for the cement, the stones. I mean, I really what I went through putting that school up. So it's a Catholic school. But I mean, you come and join us, fine. You're coming to a Catholic school. But I won't stop you doing your own. I'll respect your own religion.
So people can pray in the school. They are allowed to do that, and although it's a Catholic school, you're okay with that, right?
Look, if you come to Waja, I'm a Catholic priest. I have a mosque there. I built a mosque for them.
You have a mosque where you are,
yes.
Although you're a Catholic priest.
Yes.
You built a mosque.
Yes.
So it means that we can cohabitate. We can be together as one people.
I built a mosque.
God bless you.
Yeah, I built a mosque so they can go there and they can pray. So we should respect one another.
So maybe schools can say if there are Muslims there and Muslims want to build a mosque.
Let's respect one another.
It's a place of worship.
Look, myself and Dr. Bawumia, as an example, he's been so good to me.
Right.
Dr. Bawumia last year, he came to my church. I have a church in New Waja, and it hasn't been completed. And he asked me, Father, how much will it cost to complete it? I said, well, it costs about 1.5 million. Come to my house. He gave me the money. Wow. So we completed.
A Muslim building a church. So this is great. Dr. Bawumia did that.
So we have about 200,000 CDs left. We need another 200,000 to build the toilets.
Okay.
He gave that to me. So that was 1.7 million he gave it to me.
Wow.
So what's your problem? Let's respect one. And the chief imam, I've been to his house many times.
Oh, you and the chief imam, you are good friends.
When was his 100th birthday, he came to Christ the King that Sunday morning, and I gave him blessing. So I still go to visit him in his house.
So, Father, when you hear some of these things and they say, well, it's a Muslim school, Christians can, do something. It's a mission school, it's a Catholic school. You will not be allowed to fast. You can't pray at certain times. You have to join us.
But
we should respect.
Respect and listen to one another.
Right.
And say, this is a Catholic institution, so you've come here.
So that's to Sinsema, Reverend Andrew Campbell, the two just about Bawumia, Edikanman 1.5 million. Ban sorry, moon complete no so yes, can hena munya or see bremifi or call Bawumia so we hear 1.5 and about Bawumia man 1.5 million. And each checker 200,000 and a man 200,000. Bawumia someone 200,000 can ultimately complete here. So that is the issue. But this same person was answered in same Bible just a brand the former in group and Pram MP or Tesono not on any issues but then he was able to actually hash it out with him. E.T. Mensa. Yeah, share this particular video Babaka.
When I started the school in Derby Avenue, it became too small. I started off with 12 dressmaking students and 10 secretarial. So it got too small because it was growing and growing and growing. So I went looking for another plot of land. And, in Jamestown and that area, it's difficult to find land. So I looked and I looked and I looked all around. And I found one piece of land, which was an old Dutch cemetery. I said, this is what I want. I said,
a cemetery?
A cemetery, yes. So half of the cemetery, they were playing volleyball, and the rest were broken down tombstones. Tombstones, they were broken, and I was in a bad state because nobody was been buried there for many, many, many years. So I applied for the land. I said, look, this land, I want to build that school. And I fought 9 years against E.T. Mensa.
Oh, you had issues with E.T., the late E.T. Mensa?
Man, yes.
He was the minister for sports then, or he was the AMA?
He was AMA.
AMA, yes, at the point he was.
And he said, we Catholics, we don't allow non-Catholics into our schools. That's what he said. And he publishes on the radio. So we fought on paper. We fought this on paper. We were writing letters and letters and letters.
For 9 years.
And in the end, JJ asked me, Father, what do you want the land for? I said, I want this land for children, to build a school for the street children and the poor children of the area. Give the land to Father. That's how I got the land.
President Jerry John directed straight away.
Directed that.
After 9 years of back and forth.
So when I went to the the chief, what's his name, the Jamestown chief, English manager, Dentist Kofi. Dentist Kofi said, I asked him to come and do the rituals, on the land and such and such. He said, you be white man, you get land. I be black man, I don't get the land. How did you get the land? And I didn't get the land.
Right.
Yeah. And he came the next day. He came. He said, Father, bring a cow. Bring a cow. I said, Ni, Mbeshika. Let me buy a cow. I don't have money to buy a cow. I said, I'll buy a sheep. Okay, buy a sheep. So we brought the sheep. And the next day, on the Saturday, he cut the throat and brought the blood all the way from the middle of the compound out to the main road.
But Father, you are a man of God, and with these rituals and all of that, why did you... What's the correlation? I mean, why do you allow such, or is it okay for a Christian to do that? And so, what is it? How do you reconcile the two? So this is libation being poured, an offering being done. They asked you to bring, a cow. Yes, you gave a sheep, but that was for some sort of sacrifice.
This one, I said, okay, it's going for God. I'm giving this to God. Whatever he has to say, this is
for
me,
God.
It was for God. And do you know what happened?
No.
The next day, I brought all my community from Sacred Heart Parish to Mass at that area.
Right.
And we had our blessing of that land. And we walked in procession from that land down to the church. And do you know what happened?
No.
We got inside the church, we closed the doors, and we prayed. And the thunder and lightning and the rain came down in buckets. I said, this is a sign from God that God wants me to get that land. But even after that, Itimens was taking my tools and my shovels and my such and such. So we were fighting afterwards.
Oh, then you really had a long-standing battle with Itimens.
We had a long-standing, yes. But I went ahead. I didn't stop. I went to...
You built on the land.
I want my tools back. I give him my tools back.
Oh, you went to him for your tools?
Hey, this one, you don't play around, Father. Such. But before...
Father is calm, but...
Before he died... I met him one day in church, and he was sitting in his car, and he's put his hand in his pocket. He said, "Here, Father, come, I want to give you some money. Go and get some drinks for yourself." So we reconciled.
You prayed for him?
We reconciled before he
died. You reconciled before he passed.
We were two paddy before he died.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Reverend Father no or the two. Let's move on from that. He has been called to Parliament to actually answer some few questions, tough questions, because you see, after the arrest of a year, Martin Kibun, people are questioning his authority and even the essence of South OSP office in the first place. But as some NDC people are calling, sir, we need to scrap the whole OSP office off. Say some people believe say OSP our mandate be oba so obeye onwie ade no nti onwie ya yentimi enka se ye close ejuma no ejuma ne de man no akabe 2 years ni we so let him finish what he started na owie na wentimi anya then at the end we can see okay the oye no wentimi anye and then now we are closing the office for good. Edwoji Tamakulu, who happens to be a director of legal affairs with the National Democratic Congress, he is saying, party members are already on starting said, let us close the special prosecutor's office. It is irrelevant because perhaps one of their own favorite legal squirrels, Martin Kpebu, was arrested, or party said they be. We need to be very careful for what we wish for, because our special prosecutor's office, nipa na or da no Martin Amidu first and or resign But pay by Martin Kisie Jabin by, and he's proving say he's going to do something, and he's even trying to at least do something. Until the whole argument NDC for making so let us close down the special prosecutor's office is ineffective, it's no good, no. Or party said we should be very wary and we should be very careful. Young court in summer audit Tuja, when we come back, we will actually look at all the other issues at Eba, because we know can say Honorable Dafiamakpo, yes, also about this same issue, and according to him, this whole issue of the special prosecutor, to him need you see him closing it down. Parliament and also Agbangbabi on Mahukwain on one of creative special prosecutor's office among some closing up, because according to him, for be anyone. But in team sama director of legal affairs or NDC or the
I think in principle, listening to you, you are against at least the scrapping of that office. You are against that.
It has come to stay.
It has come to stay. But
look, what will be the legal basis to scrap it? It has gone through Parliament, and like you pointed out, it received bipartisan support.
Yeah, but Act of Parliament can always be repealed, Oh,
but there has to be a strong reason for a repeal. What would be the reason?
The reason is it's no longer fit for purpose, as some have argued.
Have you checked the NDC manifesto and what it says about the office of Special Prosecutor?
But at least you think, sir, it should be headed by a new hand, right?
It should be headed by
somebody else apart from Kisi.
Maybe the current occupant by law has a 7-year mandate.
Sure.
And
yeah, that's true.
Non-renewable.
That's true.
7 over 5.
Aka 2. That's true.
Aka 2.
Yes.
Say 2 there one.
Dabi.
And
Dabi.
It's non-renewable. It's a different thing if it's those offices where you stay up to 70 years.
Okay.
And remember, say, Oma elevating the conditions to that of a justice of the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
And that is why the removal processes entails Article 146.
No, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for me, if it's left with 2, and the most important thing is that now they are petitioning before His Excellency the President,
which have been forwarded to the CJ.
Which have been forwarded to His Lordship, the Chief Justice. At this point, the President has announced that he is Pontius Pilate on conveyor belt.
Yes.
So we all await what the Chief Justice, in his wisdom, having done all the evaluation, will come up with.
Okay.
I do not think that at this point, my pay grade
Edruho
no.
Lawyer Eduji Tamaklo. No, we're brutal.
Okay, so in some way, director at director of legal affairs of Presidents or the two just said, Kisie Jabin has a 7-year mandate, which will move 5. Yaman in we because you see, I know you will be for nani pane bar, or even if you are no before for bar, the person will have to look into the case and perhaps he will name all the loopholes, all the bits and pieces of it. In Yaman, we are not the Osha, so baby, into we who's a Jumano, and effective, then we close it down. Meanwhile, in Parliament, some NDC MPs are of the view, say, this whole OSP office should be closed down. Even pushing the Speaker Bangbabin to haul the OSP to Parliament for questioning and subsequently, enforce the law to close it down.
Constitutional body, it's an unconstitutional office. That's exactly the point the majority leader is making. That the existence of the Office of Special Prosecutor is at variance with the provisions of our national constitution. Mr. Speaker, 1 year down the road, they build an office. They have a super majority. What are they telling us?
What are they telling us? Just because this country, with the greatest respect, is sick and tired of talk. Talk. The leader of government business is not just the majority leader. He's a leader of government business. He's a leader of this house. He sits in cabinet. Just because he has indicated that when the bill was tabled before this house, he as member of parliament, member of the 8th parliament, just because he said he opposed the establishment of the office of special prosecutor. And he indicates that his party, the NDC, opposed the establishment of the office of special prosecutor. I have just indicated the policy rationale or the policy motivation for the establishment of that office by the Akufo-Addo government. Just because you yourself, you've indicated that you were also opposed to it. Just because today, the political party that opposed the establishment of the office, the member of that political party who opposed it in the 8th parliament, today majority leader, leader of government business, in the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they have given them a super majority. Super majority. They have majority in this house. They have a super majority. Why? What's happening? What's happening in our country, Mr. Speaker? You just made that point about allocation. And you made a point about reset and the fact that we may struggle with the reset. Too much talking. The country needs action. If you believe the office of special prosecutor is not fit for purpose, you have the majority, you call us micro minority, we are mighty minority indeed. Repeal it. What are you waiting for? 1 year down the road, we are still being given sermons and being given lectures and being told that this office is unconstitutional. Mr. Speaker, because with the greatest of respect, one of their own was touched. Because one of their own was touched. And Mr. Speaker, you just made that point not too long ago, that we should be careful.
In Tinsama, even NPP for more patches or more account parliament, they say, and then the NDC for all of a sudden, almost OSP office, closing it down. Have a pepe, or more micros, a mighty minority, no, or more dear, or more. But almost any dean, and now OSP then is our common or move back on all of a sudden, almost inclusive office down. But then we will come back to that issue later. Yesterday, Yamamu update say oko the United States of America BB air coso. Na the air coso na de na air coso no eya di beni nyina yini agye ho. Na oko Congo ene some parts of Rwanda. They've been having a continuous fight for some time now. Ama this particular continuous fighter Oma having no akoso. Na President Donald Trump no oba no se dey be the we anema akoso no omeni enje ho nti opese peace embra between Congo and Rwanda. And yesterday they actually signed a peace deal. But that particular peace deal you almost signing no, there is a lot of questions about. Now, you can share a report from Larry Madowo on CNN for have a Anna Ochemu, same way by how some Africans are even taking it. Some people are saying, say Trump no, or you'll be now on your business, or also you're very careful because on no best straight, but with obitimasa then obitimasa astabel inti yenko tie insema Larry Madowo reporter or the CNN hoba babaka we are learning say some deals be so FHA bias how deals no deal a rare earth deal sa rare earth no eno yes deal na saying Chinese for or many America for edisi nia toko gidigidi. But before then no, let us watch this particular video of how Larry Madowo actually explained and actually brought out this issue about how this whole thing came about and even what some Rwandans and Congolese what they see in this, and even if peace itself can be achieved as to what Donald Trump is trying to portray.
And you can tell how much President Kagame and President Tshisekedi don't trust each other based on what they said. President Kagame said that if this deal fails, it won't be Rwanda's fault. That these Washington Accords, as they're called, have all the elements necessary to end the war. And then President Tshisekedi, on his part, said that we hope Rwanda can agree to the terms of this deal once and for all. So there's no back and forth about supporting militia groups and essentially reneging what they've agreed on. The two men barely looked at each other. I was watching their body language, and they barely shook hands, barely looked at each other. That's how much mistrust there is between these two men.
That is very clear from what I saw as well. There's a lack of trust here, which then begs the question, Larry. I mean, how far-fetched is this deal? I mean, how tangible, let me put it this way, is peace?
This Washington Accord, as they're called, will not end the conflict in eastern DRC. Just this week, 2 days ago, both sides accused each other of sabotaging this deal because there was fighting continuing in 3 parts of the eastern DRC. The Congolese military says they came under attack from the M23, and the M23 in a separate statement said that they'd been attacked by the Wazalendo, which is a militia group allegedly backed by the Congolese government. And so even while this deal is going on, there's no actual peace on the ground. And I was in Goma in September, and I spoke to the leader of the M23 rebel group, Kone Nangaa, and he said they're not a party to this. They wish President Trump all the best, but they don't trust President Tshisekedi, that he is a crook. He used that word, crook, and he's gone back on every deal he signed before. Their intention is to go to Kinshasa and to overthrow him.
There is another element to this, Larry, and President Trump, we played that little clip there, touched on that, and that is economic, right? The US is seeing this, using this as an opportunity to access critical minerals, of which, of course, the US relies heavily from China. Speak to that, the transactional nature here.
That is a criticism in the DRC and in parts of Africa, that the US is not a clean arbiter in this, that it's interested in the rare earths, and President Trump said that they have signed separate bilateral agreements with both Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo to access the critical minerals and the rare earths that exist in this region, this mineral-rich region, that, for instance, the world's largest reserves of cobalt are also coltan. These are critical in the manufacture of everything from electric vehicles to mobile phones, and the world needs a lot of them, and President Trump has not hidden his intentions for that. So that is the subtext here, that people say the U.S. is only doing this because it's interested in those minerals, because there have been previous deals that have failed. And President Tshisekedi and Kagame both said that. There have been many previous attempts by the African Union, in Kenya, in Angola. These didn't work out. So why the U.S.? Why now? They praised President Trump, they praised Secretary Rubio, they praised Masad Boulos, who is his special advisor on Africa. But the critical minerals question cannot be ignored.
Yeah, Masad Boulos saying this is a starting point. We shall see where this leads. Larry, good to see you. And from Zambia, love Zambia, beautiful country. Thanks very much, Larry. Now,
okay, so this was the reporter Ifi Larry Mado Ebaye. Now, one aspect so among people share the deal of a rare earth, because Trump announced that all these things are personal. It also has economic implications. And one of the economic implications here is the US actually signing a separate bilateral deal with Congo and also Rwanda. Now, if you don't know, Congo and Rwanda, both of these countries are very rich in mineral resources. Okay, Congo is rich in natural resources near there. And one of the most untapped natural resources in the Congo and in Rwanda is rare earth. Now, this rare earth, we will be a rare earth, a femma, and near Africa has say any baby. But then there's a special type of rare earth, and a type of ania, sanya or refiner, utimi, enya name maybe woman, ye phones, ye airplanes, ye weapons, ye did get a whole lot of fridges near home appliances, and China has a lot of them and has developed a model to process all of these things. The whole world now, China is the leading producer of what? Rare earth. They produce about 80 to 90% of the whole world rare earth, and the US were a second producer. But then now, because of the trade war between China and the US, US is actually looking for alternatives. So okay, so you need to mean rare earth from China, because China a friend is saying they've imposed a ban on it, and as they've imposed a restriction on it, what do? We need to look elsewhere. And these form of rare earth, if you are Australia, if you are US, or if you are Africa. But then the thing is, the resources, how you been and Trump, any Rwanda, any Congo signing this particular agreement, or I just say they will be actually having this particular kind of agreements. Companies, US, Rwanda. companies on more US, on Congo, no more mining this particular rare earth. In the end, no Congo for Benyeska, Rwanda for Benyeska, na US also in a year or more earth or mope. Yanko teen sama Donald Trump edituja in regards with this whole thing, ye babaka ebetuaso.
Today, the United States is also signing our own bilateral agreements with the Congo and Rwanda that will unlock new opportunities for the United States to access critical minerals and provide economic benefits for everybody. And we'll be involved. We're sending some of our biggest and greatest companies over to the two countries. And we're going to take out some of the rare earth and take out some of the assets and pay, and everybody's going to make a lot of money.
That was in summer a year US President Donald Trump or the two just said yes. Apart from all of these things, it also has some great economic implications, and these particular economic implications have and a media to journal. I just say Odrin Hokrana Bimoba say Congo you're very careful because Trump America go full on the back door they will try as much as possible and take something from you and also a idea but then we are also following the issue of this particular peace deal because we don't know if this whole thing will last or not, but then Obineka and say it is a step in the right direction at the end of the day the air coso. Menuka say, the wasi results a bayana ubiaka one seven is Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Baby Breaky Sadness. Now, Obeka said we did a report say the wasi results nearby, the failure rate was so much high, and because of this, among four parties said, what is really happening? Because failure rates, compared to the past 5 years, this is the worst. In the NDC 4 bars, now Obeka said, before I Asha say failure now, and no, and John Dramani Mahama, among four president is on Saki how in a do so, and on the same Biababe to just say, what's the results now? Kolanico failure, and yet NDC 4 and on Mokose, Debbie. And yet NDC 4, name mum a year how NPP 4 moody free SHS by, how they actually brought the free SHS, and no, and I'm so. And the course of this particular issue and then a year in Yanum Koso Wasino or me failure my social studies are born said then with school club my pass in the crown and also me the omophilia. Now you could see some John Dramani Mahama editor a babaka a year education minister how in a do so on also Baba Kasa because in some numbers a month for can say how in a do so obey education minister for Matthew Opoku Prempeh was education minister in Kwalane Passe. Professor Yawedi Chum was education minister in Bofane Passe. Obaya and do 1 year po Obia Feli. What is really happening? Yenti Mahama response ye babaka ebe call back to a having a druce in some of the ababe tuja.
Recently, the West African Exams Council has released the results for the last West African School Certificate Examination. And as the Honorable Minister has said, it has become an issue of great concern to government, parents, and the public at large. I was speaking with the minister, and I've asked them to do an analysis of the examiner's report to try and decipher what could have gone so disastrously wrong. It is mind-boggling that with the same teachers, the same factors in play, just from one batch to another, one batch, does so disastrously. And so we need to get to the bottom of it. But it also emphasizes the issue of foundational learning. One of the major things that has taken place in the last several years is the neglect of basic education. Inability to send the capitation grants, ensuring that we have quality teachers at the foundational level, at the basic level, because it is that level that prepares the child for secondary and tertiary education. And once you don't get that level right, you will just send the child through a conveyor belt like a factory. And when it comes out at the end, it will be picked out by quality control and said that this one did not do well. And so our focus must be on foundational learning. And foundational learning means that by the time a child reaches primary school, he should be able to read properly. By the time the child leaves primary school, he should be able to write properly. By the time the child leaves primary school, he should be able to do basic arithmetic. If we're able to get our children to get these three things right, writing, reading, and arithmetic, then they have the foundation to continue into secondary education. Recently, the West African Exams Council has released the results for the last West African.
In some way, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edited, and I was telling you before, say, how we do so, or also the response about, because in all of this, I'm for parties, I want our education minister, so come here and come and explain. And no, how we do so, the Bible to as you can see on the screen, say it is only in Ghana that when students do well in exams, they get praised. But when they don't, the minister and government are to blame. How they do super say Ghana pay, and then kola ko tres and so mu failure. I are buying teachers no. Ben kola no ko pass here e mbofra na ayade. Anyways, we are learning say aban be a year February March a year rewrite opportunities for more me fail because the failure rate no also into share me na oba a failure. Pacho oko wayeka ombebie a year February March year by next year February March ombebie a year a special resitting a year exams ama one more failing no na it is a ultra you can actually apply university na it is a pass bit man apply now their account results. So please take that note and I take note of that thing for me. Meanwhile, Honorable Dafiamakpo, he is of the view said the office of the special prosecutor needs to be closed down. Somebody too.
Speaker, we are saying that the office of the special prosecutor has abused his powers in this matter. And I will not hesitate. I will not hesitate to say that this house, we created the office. And the office of the special, if we to abrogate it, we may have to abrogate it. Because we cannot create such an office to handle important matters of concern to the state, and you'll be detaining citizens that you have invited willingly, they've submitted themselves willingly, and you detain them because on a certain supposed obstruction of a public officer from performing a certain duty. That is a misdemeanor.
Honorable Chief Whip.
So, Mr. Speaker, let me place this matter on record that this house, we shall be inviting him to come and brief the house the circumstances under which he will detain a citizen under such flimsy, whimsical circumstances. It is untenable. And yesterday, his conduct was frowned upon by the entire nation. So I just have to place this matter on record for today. I thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip, you came under Order 93, but it was wrong time. We normally invoke Order 93 during statement time. Now you've gone past statement time, we are coming to do government business, and we are bringing this discussion again. Anyway, I'll invite one person from this side, Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, to comment on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I would have wished that the business committee would have properly programmed this so that it would have been part of the earlier conversations. The subject that the Chief Whip on the majority side has raised is an important matter. But in my view, Mr. Speaker, it is not about the office of the special prosecutor. It is about a culture that has crept into the investigative and law enforcement bodies in this country, where they invite you, and to quote the words of the chief whip, you appear on your own volition to assist them in investigations. Then they arrest and detain and put onerous bail conditions on you. In fact, in the case of his good friend, the respected lawyer he's speaking about, his very good friend, he was asked to bring landed property in his own name. These are some of the onerous bail conditions that we have been speaking about, that the investigative bodies are beginning to weaponize. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, like we say in Twi, etua unyonku mua, etua diem, etua uhumudia, etua nipem. To wait, Mr. Speaker, when it happens to somebody and he's complaining about it, you see absolutely nothing wrong with it. When it happens to you, now you complain. So, Mr. Speaker, if he wants to invite the special prosecutor to come and answer why his friend, and today he's complaining because it is his friend, why his friend and the office of the special prosecutor, in his view, are weaponizing their powers, perhaps he should extend that invitation to all the other investigative bodies that people have raised complaints about, that they are beginning to weaponize the powers of state given them. Today, because it happened to Martin Kpebu, you are making it a matter of urgent public interest. The minority leader, Osahin, has been raising this matter over and over again, that the investigative bodies are weaponizing their powers, are imposing onerous bail conditions. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in instances where you don't even expect them to detain, because you've invited a man, he has appeared, he's provided information, you know where to find him. There's no basis to detain him. They will detain you and put onerous bills, whisk you away, unknown destination. Then your lawyers, everybody looking for you. We've had clients at our firm we are chasing all over town. When you say it, because it has not happened to them, they don't complain. That's why our elders say, today, because it has happened on their side, they are complaining. So, Mr. Speaker, if we will take a leaf from the book of history, when the Preventive Detention Act was being passed, members of the CPP who were happily shouting that it was a good idea, in the end, became victims of it. If there's a practice that is untoward and it is being raised, let us look at it without partisan lenses. We on this side, if indeed they extend that invitation, I'm not sure we will object. We won't object to it. But perhaps our advice will be that all the other investigative bodies that are being weaponized, which have been complained about, which they turn a blind eye and a blind ear to, maybe, Chief Whip, you should add it so that we can do a non-partisan, diligent job in the interest of the public. Because precedents are being set, which will not be good for our democracy going forward. Mr. Speaker, those will be my words in contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not